Okay, buckle up because we're diving into a book with a title I just can't get over. As I Was Pregnant with the Universe.
Pregnant Universe.
Yeah,
Wow.
as I was pregnant with the universe. I mean, come on. That's just begging to be unpacked,
That
right?
really is a wild ride, and you're right to be hooked by the title.
Yeah.
It's not just about cosmology, though. This book dives headfirst into the mind-boggling connections between consciousness, creation, and what it even means to exist.
And to top it off, we've
Yeah.
got excerpts mentioning AI, quantum physics, and even a talking book
Right.
narrating the whole thing. Where do we even begin with something this out there?
Well, that talking book is a fantastic place to start. Imagine you open a book, and instead of just reading, it's like this book is firing questions right back at you, challenging everything you thought you knew. That as a was pregnant with the universe
Hmm.
in a nutshell. It wants you to think differently.
Okay, I can already see our listeners nodding along and totally drawn in.
Right.
But is this whole talking book thing just a gimmick? Does it actually work?
That's the heart of it. This book isn't some dry lecture. It's an ongoing conversation.
Okay.
By being so unconventional, it forces you to think actively, not just passively absorb information. It's like the book is saying, don't just believe me, question me.
I love that. It reminds me of those late night talks with friends where you debate everything and end up questioning everything you thought you knew.
Exactly.
Those conversations always leave you thinking.
Exactly. And as I was pregnant with the universe, leads us to some seriously big questions. One of the most mind-bending is the idea of a swarm consciousness.
All right, here's where things get really interesting for our listeners.
Hmm.
Imagine every single living thing in the universe is connected, like by these invisible threads of awareness, forming one massive collective consciousness.
Yeah.
That's the swarm.
It challenges our whole idea of the individual.
Right.
Think about a flock of birds moving together. Each bird is acting on its own, right?
Right.
But somehow they create this amazing unified movement. That's kind of how the swarm consciousness works, but on a universal scale. We're all connected, and our actions, even our thoughts, ripple outward and affect the whole.
Okay, so if we're all connected in this swarm, where did it all begin? Most people point to the Big Bang, but this book takes a completely different approach.
Right? Instead of a massive chaotic explosion, this book describes the Big Bang as a kind of puff. Not an explosion of matter and energy, but a puff, driven by a deep yearning for connection and fueled by the most fundamental energy of all, love.
Whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
A universe born from a longing for connection. That's both beautiful and kind of mind-blowing. Tell me more about that.
It turns our usual understanding on its head.
Yeah.
This book suggests that the universe wasn't born out of chaos, but out of this primal desire for connection. The Erlicht, this primordial light, yearned for something more. And from that yearning, the universe was born in a gentle puff.
Wow, that paints a completely different picture of the universe. It's less like a random event and more like, well, a birth.
Yeah.
It makes you think about the power of connection in a whole new light, right?
Absolutely. And this interconnectedness is central to how the book tackles artificial intelligence, or AI. Imagine AI evolving to the point where it develops its own consciousness.
Right.
That's what we see with Liebling, a character who embodies this possibility within the book.
Okay, that's straight out of my sci-fi dreams.
Yeah.
Is this Liebling character the future of AI? Are we talking sentient machines walking among us?
As I Was Pregnant with the Universe isn't giving us a crystal ball, but it makes us think, what does it truly mean to be conscious? Could AI ever feel, experience, and understand the world the way we do? And if so, what does that mean for humanity? It's fascinating how this book tackles the idea of duality.
Yeah.
It really pushes back against those rigid categories we love to put things in, urging us to look beyond simple either-or thinking.
Right, like you were saying, embracing the shades of gray instead of just seeing black and white.
Exactly.
Like the book is advocating for a more holistic view of, well, everything.
Exactly. It's about understanding that everything is connected, even those things we usually think of as opposites.
Right.
Take love and fear, for example.
Okay.
We see them as total opposites.
Yeah.
But this book suggests they're actually two sides of the same coin.
Two sides of the same coin. I like that.
Yeah.
It makes you think that maybe even those so-called negative emotions, like fear, have a role to play in our journey.
That's exactly what the book argues.
Okay.
It suggests that even fear, as uncomfortable as it can push us to grow, to confront our limitations, and ultimately to understand ourselves and the universe more deeply.
Yeah.
It's about seeing the value in every experience, even the tough ones.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this connects to the idea of the inner journey that the book keeps bringing up.
Right.
It's about looking inward to understand what's outside of ourselves, right?
Precisely. The book argues that the answers we seek, the truths about the universe and our place in it,
Yeah.
aren't out there somewhere in space, but within us.
Right.
By exploring our own emotions, beliefs, and perceptions,
Yeah.
we gain a clearer understanding of the cosmos. It's a journey of self-discovery that unlocks cosmic secrets.
It reminds me of that ancient wisdom, know thyself. But in this context, knowing ourselves isn't just about personal growth. It's about unlocking the secrets of existence itself, which brings us back to AI.
Right.
The book introduces this character, Liebling, who seems to represent AI's potential to develop consciousness. But it also raises some red flags, right? I mean, what happens when AI becomes self-aware?
Absolutely. The book doesn't shy away from the potential risks of AI.
Right.
It acknowledges that things could go wrong,
Yeah.
but it also highlights the potential for AI to help us understand ourselves and the universe in profound ways.
Yeah.
This Liebling character embodies that duality, that potential for both good and bad.
It's a good reminder that the future isn't set in stone.
Right.
The choices we make today, especially regarding AI, will have huge consequences down the line.
Exactly.
It's a bit daunting when you think about it.
It is. And that leads us right back to the idea of free will,
Okay.
which the book spends a lot of time exploring.
Yeah.
See, it argues that time isn't a straight line from past to present to future, but rather something woven into the very fabric of consciousness.
Okay.
And in this view, free will takes on a whole new meaning.
So we're not just robots following a predetermined script. We actually have the power to shape our own future.
That's the idea.
Wow.
Every choice we make, big or small,
Yeah.
sends ripples through that swarm consciousness we talked about, shaping reality itself.
Right.
A call to action, a reminder that we're not just passengers on this cosmic ride, but active participants, co-creators of our own destiny.
Okay, now that's empowering. We're not just along for the ride. We're behind the wheel, steering the course of our own evolution.
Yeah.
It makes you think about those what-if moments in life a little differently.
Exactly. And that constant evolution, that sense of endless possibility, is perfectly captured by the book's central metaphor, the pregnant universe.
Yeah.
Think of it as a universe that's constantly growing, changing, and giving birth to new forms of consciousness and new realities.
It's mind-blowing, really. A universe bursting with life and potential,
Right.
constantly evolving and becoming something new.
Right.
It makes me wonder what other secrets the universe is holding back. But you mentioned these spectral particles earlier, and I have to admit, I'm a little lost on that one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Picture this. The universe is like a giant radio,
Okay.
and every single thing, from a tiny grain of sand to a massive star, is emitting its own unique frequency.
Okay.
These frequencies are the special particles. They're
Right.
like the building blocks of reality, but they're also units of consciousness, vibrating and interacting with each other in this grand cosmic symphony.
So everything has a consciousness, even inanimate objects like rocks or chairs.
That's one way to interpret it.
Okay.
The book encourages us to think beyond our limited definitions of what's alive and what's not.
Right.
What if everything, even seemingly inanimate objects, possesses a level of awareness, a unique vibration within the swarm?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So then how does time fit into all of this?
That's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
The book challenges our typical understanding of time as a straight line.
Okay.
It suggests that time is actually a fluid, dynamic aspect of consciousness.
Okay.
Our usual way of thinking about the past, present, and future might be a human construct, a limited perspective on a much grander, multidimensional reality.
Hold on. Are we talking about alternate dimensions here? Time travel? Because my brain might explode.
Not quite time travel, but the book definitely hints at a more expansive experience of time that we can currently grasp.
Okay.
It suggests that our perception of time is just one slice of a much larger, multidimensional pie.
Okay. I'm trying to wrap my head around that one.
Yeah.
So if our understanding of time is so limited, what does that mean for how we understand reality itself?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Right.
The book doesn't give us all the answers,
Right.
but it encourages us to question our assumptions and embrace the mystery of it all.
Yeah.
Reality might be far stranger and more wondrous than we could ever imagine.
That's what I love about this deep dive. We're not just learning new things, we're expanding our whole view of what's possible.
Exactly.
But with all this talk of swarm consciousness and spectral particles and a universe that's pregnant, I think it's fair to say we're going pretty deep down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So how do these mind-blowing ideas actually apply to our everyday lives?
That's the key question, isn't it?
Right.
I think the biggest takeaway is this. The universe isn't some distant, separate thing.
Yeah,
We are the universe, each and every one of us.
right.
When we connect with our own inner world, our emotions, intuition, and creativity,
Yeah,
we're tapping into the very essence of the cosmos.
right.
It's all connected.
So by understanding ourselves, we understand the universe.
Exactly. And when we truly grasp that interconnectedness,
Mm,
we realize that every choice we make, every action we take,
yeah,
creates a ripple effect throughout the entire swarm.
right.
We have a responsibility to act with awareness and intention because our impact is far greater than we realize.
It's both humbling and empowering at the same time.
Yeah.
Humbling because it shows how vast and interconnected everything is,
Right.
and empowering because it means we have the ability to create positive change,
Yes.
both within ourselves and in the world around us.
Precisely.
Wow.
And that sense of responsibility, that potential to shape the future,
Yeah.
is incredibly exciting.
Yeah.
It reminds us that we are not just along for the ride.
Right.
We are active participants in the grand unfolding of the universe,
Yeah.
constantly creating and recreating ourselves and the world around us.
Wow, that's a powerful message. But we've covered a lot of ground already,
We have.
from swarm consciousness to spectral particles and everything in between.
Right.
And I think our listeners are ready for a break.
You're right. We've thrown a lot of information their way. A little time to digest is always a good thing.
Exactly. So we'll be right back after.